around, and it will be like, I mean, I can come up with so many crazy ideas there. It's so funny. But so now, so now we're going to the brute force. That's another classic there. So yeah, I mean, every people there, they are doing. Oh, there's no water here. Or? Can I have a little water? No gases? No, not for me. Oh. Sorry about that. Yesterday was an interesting night, so I need a little water. So now we are, yeah, there's a lot of people there. Many times people doing build force on web apps, something like that. So that's kind of cool to play around that. So I decided, okay, let's do. I mean, there are tools and people tell that there's supposed to be some really cool build force tools there in the wild. So okay, let's play around that. So okay, so I now the tool, the Carmen supports STT basic authentication, and that's nice. Actually, in the configuration file, you can define pages, directories, something folders. Actually, that when requested, it will request authentication. So that's funny. So people they will try to figure out how to get access to that. The funny thing is, the tool never authenticates. So now you can have people there trying to build force the server all the time. It's not going to happen. I mean, the tool is never authenticated. So actually, a good thing now, you waste the time, guy, there trying to build force your attack. Actually, all the passwords and all the users and everything, they're logged into a file. So actually, you get all the password lists from that guy. So that's nice. So we want people to build force. So we can get all those passwords. So now we're going to different uses of the tool. Actually, here in the tool, as any security tool or something like that, it has different uses. You can use it for offense, for defense. That's what you get with security tools. Nothing about that. But usually, I mean, it's a tool with two different ways. I mean, you can use it for both kind of things. It depends on your needs. I mean, you can configure the server to be more. I mean, the goal here is to be able to perform analysis on things. So we can set up the server and add. Usually now the tool gives you just a baseline framework. So you have to do your own stuff there. You have to you want to add code to that for your plugins or your site, whatever, to do that. So you just have to set up the server in the way for your needs. So that's one of the things, and it should be quite flexible for covering all your needs. So it should be more or less okay with that. So here we go into the different uses of the tool. So for example, we can use it like a Rogue.Web.Server, but I will not recommend to use Carmen as a web server, because you will not get the same performance and features like a web server, but up to you. We can use also the tool to, I mean, to map an internal network. We can put it into, when we are doing an assessment or something like that, we can put it there in a network and try to figure out people coming to a server. Not that difficult. It's easy. You just send an email to the entire company or whatever. Go to this address, something cool. Chances are people will go there. And if it's inside the network, all done. So we can use that because actually, I'm sure you know that usually browsers, for example, they tend to be very, very friendly, and when they perform a request, they give out a lot of information about the server they're running, the many times you can get also the plugins and stuff like that. So that information is logged into a file, and actually the plugins and CGIs can get all that information and you can decide what to do with that. So that's nice that browsers are so friendly. They give you a lot of information about themselves. We can use it like a web honeypot. We can set up we can create like vulnerabilities there and whatever we want and see how people deal with them or tools deal with them. So that's one of the uses. But I want something else, that people with the honeypot, they just focus on attacker techniques. So I want to be able to do more. And actually, the reason I came up with this tool, and actually I brought this tool a while ago, is just mainly to focus on web technologies and scanning tools. I mean, in web technologies, there's so much browsers. I mean, browsers are a piece of software so complex. They have a lot of plugins inside. Even they are adding more stuff into it, so there's a lot of things we can try there. There's also custom proxies we can play around. So there's a lot of things, and that's what the things I'm looking forward to play with. And the other side, also scanning tools. I mean, I want to be able to say, for example, I heard that last week in a Chinese conference, they released, I don't know if they released it, but they talk about it, that there is a QSI scripting in Nessus. So actually, when Nessus is performing a scanning, you can inject their QSI scripting attack, and it will go back to Nessus. So I want to be able to do that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, security tools, they are security tools, but they are not secure by themselves. Actually, people think because it's a security tool is secure. Many times that's not the case. Usually, most of the security tools are crap anyways. But we want to be sure, and we want to play around. I mean, so it's time we take on those. So that's what we want to play with. And that's another interesting thing here, I guess, that I mean, why play alone where you can play in group? That's always group is fun, right? So here now we can combine, for example, the logo. Anyone know what's that logo for? No? It's a well-known tool. Excuse me? Yeah, I mean the name of the tool, no? What is it? Oh, come on, people. I'm sure any of you have played with a honeypot? No, this tool. Come on, there's a book there waiting for you. No?
Honeybee.
Yeah. Come on, so now with the honeybee. Actually, yeah. So now what we're looking here is you can combine honeybee and Carmen together. So you can set up a site, your host, honeybee taking care of the host and stuff like that. When a web server is requested, when a web request, it can pass it to Carmen, and Carmen can deal with that. This is more. So now it gives you a lot of play around things. So now we can combine, really play around with the command writing, try to configure the host or site with weird operating system and weird web configuration, and see what people and tools make of it. Actually, we can put up, I mean, into the server, into the Carmen. We can put the Metasploit browser assessment. It's just like several JavaScripts and CSI to perform browser assessments. So we can put all of that into Carmen. We can our site generator is a web honeypot. It's nice, but it's a bit pain in the ass to install. So, but you can get actually, but it has a couple of nice features. So you can actually, they are not to play here together, but you can take a couple of these and put those into the server. And the Junior Citizen PDP, actually, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, released a Python web fuzzer for browser, and you can put that into the server, and that's quite nice, and actually give you because it's focusing just on the browser. So we can combine now the server to perform deeper fuzzing, for example, using that tool, for example. So here we have the what we call the stack analysis. as we are able to set up the headers, the body, the CGI, something like that, so here we can see, we can get the idea that as we are able to change, to modify, to customize all that kind of stuff, we can say different stuff at the different layers. So that's interesting. We can say in the headers, like this file is this, but actually in the body, what the file is completely different, and see how tools, browsers, or technology, something like that, deal with that. So that's all the kind of things we want to look for. And that's our main goal. And here, for example, I have those are the goals when I designed this tool. Is we have the Carmen, that's the basic framework that you get the session ID, the cookies, all that thing I showed you before. Now we have to write some code. Yeah, no love there. So you have to write your own code. So we can write fuzzing tools or vulnerabilities there, an analysis tool to be more active. So for example, in vulnerabilities, we can write a couple of well-known vulnerabilities into our site. And so we can see how people manage, or people are trying to exploit those vulnerabilities, or tools. Actually, that's kind of thing, how tools respond to that. In the analysis component, we can put there more active tools, analysis tools that will behave, that will react to the scanning or to the people, something like that. So that's kind of cool. And that's our different targets. We want to be able to perform analysis on security tools, web technologies, and people, because those are the three things I'm interested for. So, yeah, I mean, in the security tools, I want to be able to perform analysis on scanners, application scanners, and application firewalls. I mean, they are not that popular so far because they don't work, but they are trying. But anyways, it's quite interesting to test them and play around with them. It's always nice. So we also want to play around with browsers and the plugins, because there's so much stuff there in that domain. It's huge, because it's so complex and so much stuff running there, and people are writing a lot of custom proxies, something like that. So it's nice to perform that kind of testing analysis. So that's our goals here. I mean, I'm sure you can come up with more things you want to play around, but those are the goals I was looking for. So now, so we have the conclusion. So actually, at this point, the Rogue.Web.Server is just a basic framework that it gives you what I showed you before. Like you can create sites inside the server and get back that site to request. It gives you the cookies. You can define the methods and so like that. So it gives you like a basic web server you can use, but you can perform all the customizations you want. So and then you have to put your analysis tool on top of it. And actually now, for example, because it's in Python, so that's excellent. I'm a huge Python lover. So, and now there are a couple of Python's fuzzings, debuggers, something like that. So it's quite nice. You can combine all that together. So it's not that difficult. So here our goal is to be able we don't want to waste too much time on the server itself. So it gives us the flexibility. So we want to create the illusion of web apps running inside the server. So we can create simple or complex web application with just a couple of pages or a lot of pages with forms and everything we want. So that's also interesting to come up with that. We can see how spiders deal with that. So we can create there like vulnerabilities and attacks there, and see how spiders go into the site. So that's something we want to also play. I mean, I didn't put that in my goals, but spiders is also another feature we would like to play. Well, anyways, scanning tools, they use a spider anyway. So yeah, we can write vulnerabilities, well-known vulnerabilities or something like that, or maybe we can try to put unknown, but it's more funny when you put something that maybe all vulnerabilities that anyone knows how to exploit them, and see how, and they're thinking, oh, I'm exploiting this old vulnerability, I'm cool. So we want to be able to do that. Yeah, I mean, our goal here is to see how people and tools manage those. So, I mean, yeah, there have been lately there have been a lot of research in web technologies, so that's not new. But security tool analysis, there's not that much research. Yeah, I mean, but for example, if you go to all these vulnerability databases, famous databases, if you perform search on security tools, vulnerabilities on security tools, actually you will find that